Yeah. You know what? It never gets old hearing the music, knowing that we're starting the show. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart. It never gets old, man. I love this. Love what I do. Hey, it's BT with Tales from the Gemini. Feline Fox from El Paso with the track. And so thank you guys for coming on, man. I'm so excited again. Like I said, I'm just getting over COVID. And, man, it makes me appreciate this, what I'm doing so much more. So thank you guys for coming in today. Our guest is going to be Daniela Bau. It's going to be the first time that I've had siblings on the show, relatives basically on the show. So this is a first, man. We're doing a first. Malik, we're doing a first. How great is that? So looking forward to this. We're going to talk about women in motorsports, which I think is very important. I think this month is the month of the woman. Is that it?
Yeah, it's National Women's
Month. Thanks, man. National Women's Month. Yeah, so it's like it's kind of apropos that I had my friend Vanessa Guerrera on last week, and now I have Didi Bau on. We're gonna talk about women in motorsports, and I think it's important because it's like I've never experienced anything bad in the paddock at all, but it's like you just. You want to see more. I like to see more people of color and more women in positions of power in motorsports. I think it'd be great because if you don't see it, you don't think it's accessible, and that sounds like it doesn't make sense, but it does. Like honestly, like if you're, I think if you're black, you go, yeah, basketball. That's just what we do because you pass by your playground, you see, everybody playing basically. But if you don't see anybody, say if you're Asian, and you pass the basketball court. And you don't see an Asian playing, would you think like, it's not our sport? Well, it could be because it's for everybody. But if you don't see if you don't see you out there, it makes it like, you're kind of apprehensive. So, I hope that makes sense to everybody. I hope so. So we're going to talk to Didi Bau and what she's doing in motorsports and helping women in motorsports. And it's going to be an interesting talk. I can't wait, actually, man. I was a little sweet on her, I think. I mean that. I think I've been sweet on every woman I've had. It makes me sound like a creep, but I feel a little sweet on her. You know what I mean? There she is, Daniela.
Woo.
How are you, baby?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. You look beautiful as always. How are you?
Thank you. You are too kind to me.
No. It's the truth, though.
To keep up, huh?
So,
trying.
Honestly, you look great. You look beautiful. It's been a while, though. It's been a while.
Yeah. It's been a while. When was the last time that I saw you?
I think, it's been at least 2 years. I mean, for viewers who don't know, everybody knows when I go to MotoGP, the first thing I do when I go to MotoGP is I go to Alpine Stars Hospitality. And I don't know how long it's been, but I walked in and I get a, hey, buongiorno, and I'm like, hey, and it's like, hey, would you like a cappuccino or something? And I was like, okay, and then it was a friendship born, and one thing about Alpine Stars, I never felt like I was just somebody coming through. You always made me feel so welcome, and on my end, I always felt kind of sexist in a way because I didn't realize that you actually rode motorcycles, that you were actually into motorsports. And that was I felt bad, and I'm gonna say it right now, I felt bad that it didn't correlate that. I thought you were just doing your job. And it turns out that you are really, really into motorsports. And I was telling my viewers, this is the first time I've ever had two siblings on the show. I've had your sister on the show, Steffi Bau.
Yeah.
Steffi Bau, who was a motocross champion, one of the first women to actually qualify for the main event in a supercross race. And incredible. I had her on. Her story is incredible. And this is her sister who introduced me to her. And it's like, I didn't correlate that until now. And I feel like an ass that I didn't, put you there. And it's like, so I want to apologize for that. And now you are a big thing in motorsports now. So how did the passion in motorsports happen for you?
All right. So as you mentioned, my sister, she started when she was very young. She was like 4. So when I was born, she was already racing. So my mom didn't have any other choice than take me to the races every time. So I end up just, being on motocross tracks and be around motorcycles for my entire life. And then after that, she moved to the US. And what I did was just following her. in the Supercross races, but also in the women races that she did around USA. And I was 13 the first time I landed in the US in Nashville for the Loretta Lynx. So
Really?
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember this like I don't know, like it was yesterday. So and then you know, in my family we just watched F1 and MotoGP and motocross. And actually I come from a family that is very passionate about sport. If you talk to my aunt, she knows everybody in the NBA, in baseball, in everything. It's just like, okay, oh, I don't know this guy, let me ask my aunt. And she knows everybody. So, well, telling you the truth, when I was 20, I was going to soccer matches, Milan, in Milan, in the Milan stadium.
Yeah.
And I was following that as well. So yeah, I'm very passionate about motorsport, but also the sport world. So
Now, were you ever an athlete? Did you ever do any sports yourself?
okay, well, what I do is actually less exciting. I just run a little bit.
Uh-huh.
I do yoga, but yeah, I like to follow the race. I did try to ride a motorcycle. I did try, and of course my sister was the teacher. But telling you the truth, I don't have that talent. So I just like to watch and be on the outside.
So you never like did any organized sports? You never played any soccer or anything like that?
No, I was actually a ballerina when I was young. Till
Are you serious?
Yeah, when I was like till my 15, I think, and then I stopped because my interest just changed. So I stopped, but yeah, I like to dance a lot. Yeah.
Well, tell me, what is it about the Italians and passion? Because when it comes to food, whenever I go to Europe, and I've been to Spain more than any other country, I always eat Italian food. Anytime I go to Europe, I always eat Italian food. If I was in Germany, I ate Mexican food, which is weird. But it's something about, what is it about Italy when it comes to passion? Because you have the best art. You have the best art, the best architecture. And when it comes to fashion, no one is better than Italians when it comes to fashion. And when it comes to food, and I say the most beautiful bikes in the world are MV Agusta and Ducatis. So what is it about the Italians and passion? Can you explain that to people who don't know?
Well, I think you already explained it all. I mean, that's what we are. I mean, when we do something, whatever we do is all about passion. You can see even like just a person that does, I don't know, furniture, like here outside in the little town. They just put a lot of passion on what they do, and it's just amazing. This is how we are. I mean, it's just, I think, inside us. This is what it means to be Italian. Just like when we make pizza. It's not only about the ingredients, but it's also about passion.
You know, I think that was my first love with Italians. It was pizza. I was like, man, I got to go to this country because this is delicious. Pizza is probably one of the greatest foods ever made.
Yeah, and what about cappuccino?
Oh my! Honestly, because of going to Europe and because Italy was the first place I've gone to in Europe. It was Bologna. That's the first place that I went, was Bologna. And I just remember, for some reason now, whenever I go to Europe, I get a meal and I always get a cappuccino after the meal. And that was because I was because I was in Europe and because I was in Italy. So
make sure that you put sugar in it.
Oh, always. Yes. If you don't, people who don't know, they know. I put about no less than probably a pound of sugar and this much of a cappuccino, all because, so you guys know me, and that's the beauty of it, man. But okay, here's the negative part, and I'm asking because I don't know, but from what I've heard, what makes the Italians so difficult to deal with business-wise? Because whenever I take my Ducati in, they go, and I talk to those guys, and they go, man, dealing with the Italians, and I go, what is it? And they go, and they never tell me, but what is it about the Italians in business? And I've heard this from everybody. So I want you to explain to me, what is it? Why are Italians so difficult to deal with business-wise?
Ooh, this is a big question. Let me think about it. I don't know. I think it's related to the passion that we talked about. I
Yes.
guess. I mean, we are so passionate about stuff that we don't let it go. Probably that's what it is. So then sometimes it's hard because we are stubborn and we know what it takes to make it right. At least what we know how to do, like pizza, for example. So we don't accept anybody else's advice. I guess. I guess that's what it is.
Well, that sounds like every girl I've ever dated. That's what it sounds like.
Oh yeah. Imagine how it is to date an Italian girl then.
Oh, whoa! Is that an invitation? Is that an invitation? I'm just joking. I don't want to get you in trouble. I don't want to get you in trouble.
No, you're making me becoming red.
Well, you know what? Let's get to the meat of the thing. The reason you're on is because we want to talk about women in motorsports, which is something I love because I love the fact, and I've always said this, I've never had a negative experience in the paddock. Everybody's been always so great to me, always. But I always love to see a person of color in the paddock. That's why I loved Franco. I had him on the show, and that's why I loved him because and he said he never had a negative experience. But I love seeing somebody like of color because it was something we could relate to. Because if you don't see it, then I think it makes people go apprehensive to embrace that sport. But if you do see it, it's like okay, and then it's more welcoming. So for you with motorsports, do you want to get more women involved in motorsports, and if so, how?
Yeah, that's what I am telling you the truth. I mean that I think that women deserve more space in motorsport, but generally in sport, and that's what I'm fighting for as well. Me in my small world, I'm working with an athlete management agency, which is I think one of the best, at least in motocross. And
what's the name of the agency? What's the name of the agency?
What did you say? Sorry.
The name of the agency. What's the name of the agency?
Oh, the agency is Neox Management.
Okay.
And telling you the truth, my dream is to see more athlete manager as women into the motorsport world. Because have you ever seen an athlete manager as a woman? No, it's always a man. It's always somebody next to the riders or the drivers, but it's always a man. So that's what I am as well. I mean, I think we deserve more space in that in the motorsport world, and I would like to encourage women to try and be more into it, even as engineering.
Okay.
So engineers. So yes, that's what I would like to do. That's who I would like to help is to develop the women's side of the motorsport. Yeah.
So okay, now with that management company, what do you do for that management company exactly? Like, what is your specific role?
Okay, what I do is I work next to Alberto Martinelli, who is the manager of Tony Cairoli, and they have many other riders in it. And what I do is help him in the athlete management side of things, but also in the business development side of things. So yeah, I work with him, and I always have to work with big companies as well, but also riders and athletes. So it's a very good thing, and I really like it.
Now, would you like to be a manager yourself, though, of an athlete?
Yeah.
Are you working towards that? Are you working towards that?
Yes, I am. That's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and I would like maybe one day to do that. Yeah.
Now, what would the hurdles be as a woman doing that, as opposed to a man? Because I mean, I'm asking just from I don't know, and I don't know that world deep, so I'm asking just without trying to offend you and not talk down, but how would it be different if you're a woman in that field, trying to be a woman manager in motorsports, and we know it's predominantly male driven, and how do you get to that level and yet and still, maintain the respect or get the respect from the people in that field?
Okay, so I never experienced no respect in the field, telling you the truth. I've always been respected by by men and by women into in the paddock. But I think that because of how it was and how it has been, it's difficult to find women in that. I think the challenge is just that women should try to push themselves more into this and try to not see it as a man job,
Right.
but just try and do it. Because I think there is a space there. I don't think there is anybody that is pushing away women or trying not to make them, great or succeed. But I think we all together need to work and try to, establish ourselves into the field. That's what I think we should do.
Now, do you have like women like maybe come up to you, or maybe little girls or whatever come up to you like, "Wow, I would like to get into this," or how can you recruit them into like the management side? To let them know that, hey, you can do this. Because if they, like I say, if they don't see it, then they don't realize it's achievable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. And I think the best thing to do is, as you said, to encourage them. So when I see a young girl doing something, like even my little cousin that does gymnastic,
Yeah.
I'm always like, hey, you should go for it. You should do it. If that's your passion, you should do it. And no matter if you are a woman and you don't see the side of it in the sport because it's difficult compared to a man, you should do it because you have the power. So I always try to encourage little girls as well, starting from my family,
Right. Right.
yeah, to do what they like, and if they really like it and if it's a sport, they should do it. So yeah, and yeah, that's what I do. That's what I try to do every time.
Now, do you guys have female athletes on your roster?
Yeah, we do. We have this girl. Her name is Elisa Balsamo,
Okay.
and she's a cyclist.
Okay.
So she's a young girl, and she's very good. For me, she's a talent, and I really hope she can succeed.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's very good to work with a woman because you also see the woman side of
Yes.
things, and that's great because you can also talk about, I don't know, the way you want to dress or makeup or all this kind of stuff that you
well, it's the familiarity. I think by having a woman in that, and does she have a woman manager? Is her manager a woman?
Well, we are the management company is Neox management for her now. So we are doing this for her. We are on that side.
Okay.
Now.
So yeah, it would help. I think it would help athletes when they see a woman there, because I think it will put them more at ease. Like, okay, somebody understands what I'm going through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just think as the world hopefully evolves, that they see that it's like, okay, instead of going, it's just a woman being a woman, it's like, no, they do have specific issues that maybe a man doesn't have. I mean, even just yesterday, and I'm saying this, is that, we have the NCAA basketball tournament here that's going on. And the controversy there is, okay, they're showing the weight rooms, but for the men and the women, and for the men, right? They show all this big weight room. And for the women, they have this one little corner and there's weights. And that is wrong. And they're trying to correct it. So it's those little things that they don't see that maybe you see. You know what I mean? Like, now, what do you see like in the difference between how they treat a woman athlete as opposed to the men athletes? Or do you see a difference?
I see a difference. I see that is because I think it's because of culture and how the sport world has been followed now, that it's difficult for especially some sports to include women. But
Right.
I think that women have the same potential as men to succeed, maybe in a different way, but they should have the opportunity from the beginning.
Of course.
While sometimes it's difficult to see that, it's for a sport that are male dominated, it's still a bit difficult to include women. But I think things are moving and we are going in the right direction.
Now, how about endorsements? Like, why is it harder for women to get endorsements as opposed to the men? Because I mean, you see it all the time, like in MotoGP or MXG or Motocross GP, where I mean, do men have better opportunities in, like I said, endorsements than women do?
I think it's not a matter of opportunity. I think it's more how it has been till now. So we need to try to change that. We need to try to give the same opportunity to both. Even if I also think that, like on the motocross side, I think that there is the physical aspect to take into consideration.
Right.
So it's quite difficult for a woman to compete at the same level as the man. But I think that the opportunity still should be there. And you never know. There can be a woman that can beat a man, you know? And, you never know. So I think, yes, I think there should be opportunities open to everybody. And not only women, but I'm talking about everything. Like even, as you said at the beginning, Black people or I don't know, diverse people, whoever it is, there should be an inclusion in everything.
But that's what I love about you and your sister is that it's not just women. It's like you say, it's everybody, because what you guys did for Tanya Muzunda was that really touched me, because she really put, a helping hand on her, and that's putting it lightly, and taking her under her wing and being the reason that she moved to the United States and she can follow that dream. And she found her in Africa. And that story was funny in itself, how she saw the email thinking, yeah, I'm not falling for that. And then she realized that this woman is real and she wouldn't help her. So that's what I love about you two, is that it's not just women. It's you want the diversity of the entire sporting world. And I love that about you. Now this is what I don't know, and maybe you could help me, because I know Kiera, what's her last name? The motocross champion. What's her name?
Montanesi.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Montanesi.
So does she get the same opportunity in endorsements that, say, a Tony Corolla would get, or has she? Because I don't know how it is overseas. So is she selling products to help her, or does she get the same opportunity? Because she's just as much a champion as he is. You know, I mean, she's a champion. So does she get the same opportunities that he does, or I don't know, does she, or is it different over there?
I think it's still a bit different, because as I said to you, if it has changed a bit, I think that it's still a bit different, because motocross, for example, is still a very male-dominated sport.
Right.
So it's hard to get the same endorsement, as you said, for both women and men. I think things are changing, and I think that there is a possibility that they will be kind of equal, but I think it's also a matter of culture. So yeah, it needs time. We just not need to stop. We need to keep going. And,
well, of course.
And more Chiara or people, or Steffi, or people that are willing to do this in a professional way and step up for themselves.
But does she have any endorsement deals at all? Do you know? I mean, is she selling products at all? I mean, I don't know these. I mean, I don't know these things. I mean, does she have like a deal to sell? I mean, I don't know, like her line of motocross helmets or whatever there is. I mean, does she have endorsement deals?
I think she I can't talk in a specific way, because I don't know really,
right.
But I think she would have the possibility to do it, because at the end of the day, she won a lot of championships. So
yes.
Why not?
Yes. Yeah. Like I said, she's just as successful as any man. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think in that sense, the world is changing, because I think that even companies are trying to see that and trying to see the value of the diversity. So I'm trying to push for that. So I think the world is changing in that sense.
Okay.
And I hope it. Yeah.
Now let's talk about, I hate to talk about, but it is there, because with Sharni Penfold and a couple other riders, she was one of the ones from Australia, and she was trying to follow the dream of being a motorcycle racer, and because of sexual harassment or whatever, she decided to step away from the sport. And I really want her on to hear her side of the story. But have you seen that, and do you know about that story? And have you ever experienced maybe maybe sexual harassment or being maybe, I don't know, kind of where you're being taken advantage of because you're a woman? Have you experienced that or seen that in the paddock?
Well, telling you the truth, this can happen every day in every situation of the life. It's not about motorsport or only about sport.
Right.
What I can say is that, as I said, for me, in my experience, I was always respected.
Okay.
So I never experienced something like that. I try to put myself in a way that I can't let people not respect me. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
yes.
This is another thing. We shouldn't be afraid of any situation. We should just, go around with our heads up and just face the situation. So it's even that sometimes women are scared, and people just take advantage of that situation. So we really needed to be also strong and understand that we are not less than anybody else just because we are women. So that's a thing that I think every woman, every girl should keep in mind, that the value and the personality and the body and everything is just the same, and it has the same value as other people. It's not less. So that's what we have to keep in mind. But back to your question, no, I never experienced something like that in the paddock. So I never saw something like that. No, so I hope it will never happen, because it's a very bad thing, and I don't think it should be there. I also think that, as I said, it's a matter of culture. So it needs integration. Okay, it needs people to understand also from the men's side that we are we should be respected.
Well, I can attest to the fact that, when you come in, it's like you're nice, but there is a level of respect. When I was like, oh my God, this lady, I mean, it was like, I definitely respected you. And I was like, okay. But it was, there was like a, hey. So, okay. So in your field, and you're around a lot of, and you have to name any names, no names, but have you ever been hit on by a rider before? Or like, hey, would you like to go out? Or any rider ever been like, hey, would you like to, take a ride on the back of my bike? Has that ever happened? Have you ever been approached by a rider? I mean, not in a disrespectful way, but just kind of like hey, would you?
Well, I'll tell you what, when I was very young and I was following my sister, I actually had a boyfriend. He was a rider. So.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Was he a famous rider?
He was racing in the Supercross. Yeah.
Do I know him?
I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I had a boyfriend back then. I was what, 16 or 17.
Okay.
So yeah, it can happen. But it was actually a good thing. I was so in love, and unfortunately we were too far away. He was in San Francisco. I was in Milan. So no way it could work. But I'm still in touch with him, and he has his family, and it's good. It's nice that we are still in touch. But yeah, I mean, those are things that can happen. You can always, meet somebody that you like, no matter if he's a rider or whoever, or if the paddock or whoever.
Well, when you worked in Alpine Stars, was there ever like a rider that came through that was like, hey, would you like to, I don't know, would you like a set of gloves?
Really. I'm too old for that.
No, stop it. Stop it. You honestly, I'm not even going to ask your age, but you've always looked 23, 24. I'm not even going to ask. I'm not going to ask. No, you do. I'm not going to ask your age at all, but yeah, you.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it, but a little bit more than that.
No, stop it. So nobody. So when you were working with Alpine Stars, not one rider approached you was like, hey, the race is going to be over around 4, and I get through my debriefs around 5:30. You want to go get something to drink around 7?
Apart from you? No. You're rider, right? You ride motorcycles.
I ride motorcycle, but not like that.
Good place.
Oh, I love it. That's great. That's great. I love it. Okay, so let's go with more with motorsport. Like, where would you like to see yourself in about 5 years with women in motorsports? What would you like to see the changes in the sport with women in motorsports? Say in the next 5 years, what would you like to see it?
In the next 5 years, I would like to see more women involved, but in every aspect of the motorsport. So being a rider, being a driver, but also being a mechanic, or
Oh yes, you know what? It's funny you say that. I've never seen that. I've never seen a woman mechanic. I've never, and I never thought about that. Wow. I mean, it sounds like nothing, but why wouldn't I see that? I mean, honestly, you know, I've seen, and I love her to death. Is I've, you know, from MV Augusta, my girl from MV Augusta, the German girl. I had her on the show. You know what I'm talking about? From Germany, runs the MV Augusta, the forward racing.
Yeah. What's her name?
Okay.
I know who you're talking.
Yeah.
Who you're talking about.
I love what she does, and she's Milena. That's it, Milena.
Yes.
Honestly, I love her for what she does. I've seen her work. I've been in her garage, and I have so much respect for her. I love watching her work, but I've never seen a mechanic, and that is something I just never thought about that. Like, do you think like there's got to be women mechanics out there? Do you think there are? And how would you find them? And how would you encourage them to get into that level of motorcycle racing and to think that they can and could achieve levels of that?
Oh yeah, I definitely think that every woman can do that. What I saw some articles talking about women as like a part of the mechanic and engineering stuff in the F1 paddock. So I think that is changing a little bit, and what we should do to have more women is just to push for it and spread the word. So make people understand that women and girls understand that they can start from the school and they can achieve that. They can be a race mechanic if they want to. I don't think there is any limit for that. We just need to push the message.
But how do you push the message, or how do you get that out? Like how do you recruit that? How do you get it and show girls at an early age? I think it helps to show them at an early age. You know what I mean? Before they get to that age where then it's all about something else and they get interest. Because once they get to teenagers, it's something else. Yeah. So how do you implement that into that culture?
I think it should start from schools. Telling you the truth. So schools should see the potential of people, no matter if they are men or women, and decide for that and say, hey, you are very passionate about this. You are very good at the mechanical level of an engine or anything, or you're very passionate about riding your scooter coming to school.
Yeah.
Why don't you try to do this? So I think it should start, as you said, at a very young age. So schools and parents should push for it, should really see what women can be about, not only the cliche, and then go for it and try to push for it. Yeah,
that there's more than just a brolly girl, there's more than just umbrella girls, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Were you ever an umbrella girl? Never?
No, never done that. No.
Well, I just ask because you never know. Because you know what, we say that, and it initially it might sound sexist initially, but people have started out as that, and like Milena was the same way. She was a model and was an umbrella girl, and look where she went. You know what I mean? So you get that foot in the door. No matter how you get that foot in the door, and you go from there. And, and sometimes you have to, and it's almost like the old saying here, sometimes you do what you have to do to get to do what you want to do. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it sounds bad sometimes like being an umbrella girl, but if you have a good head on your shoulders, like, okay.
It's not a bad thing. I think that anybody has to do what they feel. I mean, and if that's what you feel because you're young and you're beautiful, and as far as you're respected, it's good. I mean, it's not a bad thing. I don't see it as a bad thing. I never consider it because it's not me.
Yeah.
Why? Being
Why is that?
Center of the show and just show myself like that is just no. I'd rather be in the hospitality and talk to people or be an athlete manager more than doing that. So that's who I am.
Well, you say that.
I could be girl, no?
But you say that, but I saw you on stage with a band in San Francisco, and I saw that, and I was like, you could do that. Don't act like you couldn't. Yeah, that was a fun little clip where you're behind the guy, and I like that clip. That was good.
Yeah.
So,
It was actually in London.
oh, was it?
It was in London. He invited me. He's a singer, and he invited me on the stage, and he tried to play, and I was just like, "Yeah, let's do it." Yeah, but that was kind of limited.
Yeah.
To that. So,
I love it. I love it, man. So tell me the difference between the two cultures, between Italy and the United States.
That's a big question. About in what though?
And
In every.
yeah, and everything. Like, what do you see the differences between the two countries? I mean, obviously you're tied to Italy. I mean, that's your home country. That's your heart. But what do you see the difference? Maybe in attitudes toward maybe women in general, or just what do you notice generally? Like, what's the difference between Italy and the United States, just in general?
Okay, so I think that I think that United States are a bit more open to the diversity and to even because of the population. You know, there are a lot of Black people in America, while in Italy not so many. There are few Black people in Italy, and so that's a bit of bad thing, if I might say, about my country, because I think we should be more open towards the diversity. I think that this is changing. It is with the new generations. New generations are understanding this, but we're a small country, and there is not like we are not very like technological or very, you know.
Right.
We are passionate about little stuff, like the cappuccino, but so global. So yeah, but I think the young generations are really the future, and things are moving. And with the fact that we have now the possibility to connect with the world,
Yes.
that's a good thing. That's how people understand that there is a world outside Italy, and we should include it instead of exclude it.
Right.
And about America, I think that it's a bit different because it's more a mixed culture country.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
So-
definitely. Yes. Definitely. It's definitely a melting pot.
Even food. If you come to Italy, you struggle to find different food.
Yeah. Yeah. That is.
Unless you go to Milan or Rome or different cities, you know. While in America, you can find Italian food, Thai food, Mexican food, whatever, in every part of America. So it's a different mix of culture, I think. So it's also history,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Italy is, I mean, the Roman emperor, you know. This is where we come from.
Right.
And so I mean, it's just a totally different thing. But I think that really young generation are trying to do this, even in America, and this is great. This is a global thing. So
Okay. How about men wise? I think you've dated both. So how are the men different? How are Italian men and American men different? Dating wise.
Ooh, okay, so I tell you what.
I want to hear this.
You know that my ex boyfriend was English, right? You know that.
I know. I was not going to mention that because I was trying to be respectful to both people, both parties, and I know your boyfriend. But I kept it. So you're the one that brought it up, just so he knows she brought it up.
It's my fault. And so he's English, right? And I said after him, I said, no, never an Italian guy again. No matter what, I'm losing him, but I'm not dating an Italian guy. And you look what I ended up with an Italian guy. And then it was just a short relationship, but I ended up with an Italian guy, and I was just like, oh my God, it's not me. Am I really dating an Italian guy? No, they are good. I mean, okay, a lot of passion. It's there. It's there. Actually. Yeah. But as I said to you just now, I'm a very open-minded person.
Yes.
So it's difficult to find in Italy a person that is really open-minded. Many people don't travel and just grow up and live here and have that standard kind of life, and that's not me. This is why I struggle sometimes with Italians, but hey,
I hope I don't get you. I hope I
me
don't.
as well.
I hope I don't get you in
What?
trouble. I hope I don't get you in trouble. Am I getting you in trouble,
Yeah,
Emma?
I don't want to generalize. I may end up marrying an Italian guy. So
Oh,
we'll see.
if you say marry, then you must be really deep in love or whatever. That's nice.
No, I'm not. I'm actually single right now.
Oh,
but
oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
well, let me just make this.
Don't do that. We talked about it.
I think that is great. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you another question, which is very serious question. So hope you're ready for it. How many pairs of shoes do you have?
Oh, okay.
I hear when you travel, you have a bag just for shoes alone.
Yes, exactly. And that info comes from my sister, doesn't it? You know why? Because I used to go to the US where she lives and bring a bag of just shoes. So this is why it comes from her. But I'm in love with shoes. So whenever I feel depressed or I feel sad or upset or whatever, I go and buy a pair of shoes. So that is what makes me happy. And about the number, I guess we're around 200.
200 pairs of shoes. 200 pairs of shoes.
Yeah, I think that's the right number.
Fashion is your passion. I think that's what you said on your Pinterest. Fashion is your 200
Fashion
pairs.
is my passion.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So the way.
Fashion is
So
both of them. It's just a mix. It's a mix.
So the way to your heart basically is just buy you a pair of shoes or take you to shoe shopping, and I think that's the way to your heart.
You know what? Now I tell you something that is shocking. I don't like shopping.
How do you like shoes? How do you have 200 pairs of shoes but you don't like shopping?
Oh, I go online and I buy it. So, I never go to like a shop or a mall or something like that. It's a waste of time for me. I'd rather watch a race on TV than do that. So
really, you really watch a race on TV? Okay.
I just go online, and it gets me a headache. I don't know why. I'm just like, you know what? I just buy it online, and it comes to the door.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's do some one-word answers here. One-word answers, okay? One word. I don't want an essay. I want one-word answers, okay? Okay. If you had a choice between a new pair of shoes or a new pair of motocross boots, what would you go with? Motocross boots or shoes?
Shoes.
Ah, okay, okay. F1 or MotoGP?
This is a tough one. MotoGP.
Okay, MotoGP or Motocross GP?
Motocross.
Really?
Oh yes.
What is it about your love for Motocross GP? Like, what is it about?
It's the adrenaline. It's the fact that you're there, watch the race, and you're just like, how can these people do that? How can they be so fast? How can they jump that high? How can they do all that? And since I know how much effort you have to put in it to do it, like they do it, it's just like, wow. You know, I'm not saying that MotoGP is not like that. It's the same, obviously. Right. But to me, and for my background, seeing people like that with that talent, I can recognize the talent. You know what I mean? Yeah. More than MotoGP, and for me, and the adrenaline of watching a motocross race, especially live, is just like, oh wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. The best Italian brand car.
So You mean the brand?
Brand.
You want to know a brand?
Yes.
Porsche.
Porsche? Really? Are you
Yeah.
serious?
Ferrari, I didn't say Lamborghini. I know.
Oh my God.
That's what it is, though.
For some reason, Ferrari. I've always wanted a Ferrari. I always wanted.
Well, I would like a Ferrari too if you want to give it to me.
If I want to just give you a Ferrari, okay. Well, if I gave you a Ferrari, then we'd have to go out and get some pizza and maybe watch a race.
I can make pizza for a Ferrari, yeah? I can make pizza myself. I can do it for you with my hands.
Okay. Well, that's a deal. The greatest motocross GP racer of all time. Greatest motocross GP racer of all time.
I really like the Motocross of Nation.
Okay.
So I guess one of the last that I really liked was the MX-01 in Maggiora.
Okay.
In 2016. Yeah. But the best for me was watch my sister racing. So it was a bit a mix of emotions because I was like with all my fingers crossed and my eyes closed when she was at the start, because when I was very, very little, she got hurt at the start.
Yeah. So
it was a trauma for me. So, but at the end of the day, I miss those times.
Yeah.
So much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who's the best? Who's the best motocross GP racer of all time? Motocross GP racer of all time. Your sister excluded.
Tony Cairoli.
Tony Cairoli. Okay. Is it because he's Italian, or just because he's the best?
To me, he's the best.
Okay. And what makes him great to you? What makes him great to you?
Everything. I think he's the champion in the track and outside the track. So that's what makes him great, because he is not only talent, it's not only that he's fast or he can win races, but he also knows how to be a racer and to be in front of fans, in front of people, and that's what makes it a champion.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Greatest MotoGP racer of all time, in your opinion. Your opinion. Nobody else, is just yours. And you don't have to go way back. It can be recent, but in your opinion, the greatest MotoGP racer of all time.
This is a hard one.
Well, that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. I asked the tough questions, baby. You wanted to be on the show. This is what you get from me. I don't throw softballs, baby. I throw the fastballs.
Okay. Do I have to reply emotionally, or do I have to reply because of the facts? So how do you want my reply?
I want emotion because you're Italian, so I want the passion. You're Italian. I want that Italian passion.
For me, it's Dani Pedrosa.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Danny Pedrosa? I never would have thought that. Holy mo! Okay, why? Give me a why.
Well, because for me, he has a great talent, but for what I know, he's also a great person. So that
he really is. He really is.
That makes me choose him. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not saying that the other ones are not great persons.
I know.
But yeah, so it's a mix that for me makes a champion. So yeah.
You surprised me with that one. I didn't see that one. Seriously, I did not see that one coming. You surprised me with two of them. I thought for sure Rossi was coming out. I really thought, because I thought Italian. You said Cairoli for GP, for motocross GP. I go, well, it's got to be Rossi. He's Italian. Blah blah blah. He's he basically put Italy back on the map. And for you to say Pedrosa, wow, you're full of surprises. I like that. Okay. And what I like about you is I'm not going to go there, and I could, but I'm not going to go there. But I do love the fact, I just remember being in Alpine Stars, you go, my sister's coming. I love my sister. You're going to love my sister. And you were so right. Because, you introduced us in Valencia, and we were inseparable. Yeah. And I mean, I love your sister. And the coolest thing about it is you're a woman of your word, because you have a tattoo that says little sis, and she has a tattoo that says big sis on your bodies. And honestly, that to me is nothing but love. And the fact that I had both of you on this show, and both of you are trying to be forces in the motorsports world and also the esports world. We're gonna talk about that, but in the esports world, and I think that is what you do and what you're doing, and the fact that it's the women's history. What is it, Malik? Women's history sport. What is it? What is it, Malik?
It's National Women's Month. I believe.
Yes, National Women's Month. So it's apropos that I have you on the show, and for what you're trying to do with women in motorsports, I can't understand how much I love what you're doing, and you're doing it with style and grace as only you can do. Because when you meet you, like you said, you have that welcoming personality, but it's also a personality of respect that I love, and I love that you're trying to get women in the paddock. And you made me think in a way I didn't think when you said I want to see women mechanics, and I go, why didn't I think that women could be mechanics? It's something that's so simple, but yet you said it and it made me go, whoa. And so I just love that. And I love talking, I could talk motorsports all day, but yes, man, you made me think a different way coming into this. So I want to thank you for that. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart. It's little things like that make the difference. You know what I mean? And so that's what I want to see you succeed so much in this. And I want to see even more diversity in the paddock. And I'm not even downgrading the paddock. And I want people to know that the MotoGP paddock has been nothing but great. I mean, great is an understatement to me. That nothing but welcoming and just great people. But it could be even better. Like you said, I just want to see a woman as a mechanic. And I never thought that until talking to you. And I mean that.
Thank you.
No. Thank you for. Hey, have you seen the new Drive to Survive on Netflix? It just came out.
Yeah. Is it out yet?
I watched the first episode last night, and I immediately thought of you because last night I was going through my questions. I was like, man, I want it to be good, and I want to find out more about you, and like I said, I want to be respectful, but yet and still, I know you, so we have that kind of commonality. So, and I was doing it, and I was thinking of you when I watched it, to see the women principles in the show.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And I know what I'm gonna do tonight. Then watch the F1. Just thank you so much, BT.
No, thank you. And before we get out of here, I want to ask you, since you know a lot about Supercross, who's the best Supercross racer of all time, in your opinion? What was that?
It's a difficult one for me. I'm a bit in the middle between Jeremy McGrath and Ricky Carmichael.
Yeah, so. I think I got to go with Supercross. I got to go with McGrath. McGrath was just. I don't know if he invented the whip, but man, but he was something. What he did was, man, I think he revolutionized the sport. Granted, I loved what James did. But man, he and McGrath actually, but McGrath just had that flair and that style that was, he kind of brought it into the forefront with I don't know if you remember the commercials he did, and everything. He was on the Tonight Show. Yeah, yes, all that. So yeah. So you know what? I didn't ask you this. Okay, the best F1 racer of all time, in your opinion. Best F1 racer of all time, in your opinion.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm gonna go. I'm very. It's difficult because.
Give me an answer. Don't you stand on the corner. You give me an answer. Give me that Italian passion.
I give you an answer, but let me say that I also I really appreciate what Lewis Hamilton is doing.
Okay.
But I think I'm gonna go with Ayrton Senna.
That great choice. Look at you. Yes, Ayrton Senna.
I still remember that race in Monte Carlo in Monaco. How he drives, how he changed gears, and I'm just like, wow. Okay. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go with him.
Here's how great he is. There's a song, and I even downloaded the song, but I don't know the artist. It's just one of those songs that sounded good. But at the very end, they have Ayrton Senna is talking. It's a rap song, and you're jamming. But at the very end, he's talking, and he's like, I have a feel for the car. I know the push to, and it's like, it's him. And there's just something about him. They say, people had that it, and he had that it. And it's just like,
Yeah.
and you watch it, and I love watching greatness. I don't care what sport it is. When you watch greatness, you have it just takes you to a certain place, and you have to watch with your mouth agape, like, oh my God. And he had that. And he definitely had that. You know what I mean?
Understand everything about the car, like the feeling of the steering wheel and everything. It was just like amazing. And to me, that's what, like, wow, how could he do that?
Yeah, that's greatness. Okay. So before we get out of here, what is your passion other than motorsports? Other than motorsports, what is your...
other than shoes.
Other than shoes and motorsports, what is your passion that makes you go, oh,
Horses. I like to ride horses a lot. I like to be with animals. I have 2 dogs.
I know.
And I like to be in the nature and, just, ride horses and enjoy my time. I feel like when I'm top of the horse and I'm riding with him, it's just like freedom.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I mean, it's like the same as, like, for me, when I'm on a motorcycle and I'm riding down the highway or anywhere, especially on the highway, because you get that, free ride. You don't get stopped by the stoplights, and you're just in that zone. And the same for me when I ride a bicycle. I'm out in the country and I got my earbuds in, and it's just that ride where you're in it, and it's and that passion, man. Like, it's the freedom. You get that win, and you're just in.
Don't think about anything else.
Yes.
It's just like, wow, this is freedom.
Yes.
This is where I should be right now.
Yes.
So,
okay.
Yeah, I think actually that passion came out very late, and I was already 20 when I started to ride. But and unfortunately for the work, it's not always easy, even because I move around a lot. But yeah, I love it.
Okay. In 5 years. In 5 years, where do you want to be in 5 years from now?
Where or what?
Where, what, and in 5 years, what do you want to be doing? Where do you want to be? Everything.
What I want to do is try to, be successful in the motorsport world as a woman, even more than what I'm doing now. I will always try to push, because of the value that I have, and because of what we discussed today.
Right.
And then maybe see a family, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Is that a big, but is that a big priority, or is it something is it something you really want, or is it something you feel like you have to do because maybe you feel that peer pressure? Because sometimes I think people do things because they feel like everybody else is doing it, so I have to do it. You know what I mean? Like,
no. It's not my case. Otherwise, I would have done it already.
Okay.
No. I actually would like to have a family, because I think that's also a big value in life. Okay. And the love is what actually stays in your life forever.
Yes.
So yeah. So I would like to do that, but there must be the good, the good moment to do it. It's not just because I have to, or
right.
We'll see.
Right.
We'll see what life gives me. But
yes.
Yeah.
You gotta let it play out like that. Kind of let life kind of play out like that. Would you rather live Italy or the USA?
Not sure about the USA.
I know. I'm not sure about the USA.
Europe, yes. I would like to move around a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, and Italy.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you ever want to come to the United States, you have a place to stay. If you ever come to Indy, you're going to watch the Indy Supercross. You can save money on a hotel. No, we have an extra room, is what I'm saying. We have an extra room.
And the Ferrari.
And And the Ferrari, yes. And the Ferrari, yes.
But same to you, huh? If you want to come to Italy, you know you have a place to stay.
Well, as we were talking, I actually made the reservation, so I will be there in about 7 hours. So make sure you're at the airport to pick me up. And let me tell you something. It has been a pleasure talking to you. She is, you're with, what's the name of your management company again?
Neox Management.
Neox Management. And also she was the co-founder of initesports. Init. I couldn't pronounce it, so thank you for that. Init Esports. And that is beautiful, by the way. If you guys get a chance, you got to go. If you're into esports, it is awesome. It's fantastic if you ever get a chance. You can follow her on Instagram at Didi Bau. On Instagram, and trust me, this woman is a mover and a shaker in motorsports. I'm not saying it because she's here. I'm saying it because it's the truth. Her and her sister, Steffi Bau, are trying to get more women involved in motorsports, and I could not be happier. And it has always been a pleasure to know you and now to talk to you on the show. It has been my pleasure, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for watching. Please follow her at Didi Bau on Instagram. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And like I say around this time, peace.